To win his first championship and end a 53-year drought, Jalen Brunson did something almost no one has ever done in a title-clinching game. 45 points on the road in the lowest scoring, most pressure-packed game of the entire series. He didn't just close out the finals, he authored one of the greatest closeout performances the NBA has ever seen. Let's break down the game and prove exactly how rare it was. Here's the plan. First the stat line and how clean it really is. Then the context, why this was the hardest possible game to do it in. Then the one number that shows how much of the offense he carried. And finally, where 45 points in a clincher ranks against the best closeout games of the last decade. Everything is verified. Let's get into it. This is Game is Culture. If you like single games broken down properly, hit subscribe. We're chasing 1,000. It's free and it genuinely helps. Now the line. The stat lines. Start with the numbers. 45 points on 14 of 27 shooting, 4 of 7 from 3, and a perfect 13 of 15 at the line. That works out to a true shooting percentage of 67. 45 points at that level of efficiency is not a hot streak, it's a clinic. He took good shots, made them, and lived at the free throw line when the game tightened. And efficiency at volume is the holy grail. 45 points on only 27 shots is brutally efficient scoring. Most players who drop 45 need 35 shots to do it. Brunson did it on 27 while also getting to the line 15 times. That's not chucking, that's a masterclass in shot quality on the night with the most pressure of his entire life. The hardest place to do it. Now the context that makes it special. This was a closeout game, on the road, and it was the lowest scoring game of the series, a 94-90 rock fight. Points were nearly impossible to come by for everyone else. In a game where buckets were gold, Brunson poured in 45 of them. The harder the game got, the more he scored. And here's the number that says everything. The Knicks scored 94 points as a team. Brunson scored 45 of them. That's nearly half of his entire team's offense in the title-clinching game of the NBA Finals. When the lights were brightest and the basket was smallest, almost 1 of every 2 New York points came from one man. That is carrying a team to a ring, literally. Think about the weight of that. 48% of your team scoring in a closeout on the road to end a 53-year drought. There is nowhere to hide in that situation. Every defense is keyed on you. Every possession is life or death, and the whole city's weight is on your shoulders. He didn't shrink an inch. He took the game over and refused to give it back. And he saved his best for last. It wasn't front-loaded either. In the fourth quarter alone, with the title on the line, Brunson scored 15 points on a true shooting near 79%. He didn't just have a great game and coast, he closed the championship himself in the final 12 minutes on absurd efficiency. That's the difference between a great stat line and an all-time clutch performance. Where it ranks. So where does 45 in a clincher rank? Look at the modern gold standard. The benchmark closeout of the last decade is Giannis Antetokounmpo's 50-point Game 6 in 2021. That's the ceiling. Brunson's 45 on 67% true shooting on the road in a low-scoring grinder lives right in that same rarefied air. We're talking about the best title-clinching performances of the era. To be precise, I'm not going to hand you a fake exact ranking, but 45 points to clinch a title is something only a tiny handful of players have ever done, and almost none did it on the road in the lowest scoring game of the series, accounting for half their team's offense. By pure numbers and efficiency, this sits among the very best closeout games the finals has produced this century, full stop. And it capped a finals that was already legendary for him. Across 5 games, he averaged 33 points, with his efficiency climbing every step, from the mid-40s in true shooting to 67 in the clincher. He got better as the stakes rose. That's the signature of a finals MVP, and Brunson's name belongs on that trophy without debate.
And the beauty of it was the balance. 45 points, but he never forced it. He took 27 shots and got to the line 15 times, picking his spots all night. 4 threes to keep the defense honest, relentless drives to draw fouls, and a cold-blooded touch in the clutch. This wasn't a hot shooting fluke you could wave away. It was a complete, controlled, masterful scoring performance under the highest stakes imaginable. And remember the stage. This wasn't a meaningless regular season 45. It was a title clinching 45. On the road, with a 53-year drought riding on every possession. The pressure on each of those shots was immense, and he kept burying them. Points are hard enough to find in a closeout game. 45 of them, this efficiently, in that exact moment, is the stuff that gets immortalized. So there it is, 45 points, 67% true shooting, nearly half his team's offense, on the road to end 53 years of waiting. Jalen Brunson didn't just win a title, he authored one of the greatest closeout performances in NBA history. So where does it rank for you? Top 5 clincher ever? Drop it below. And if you want every piece of this title run, subscribe and join the family.